So the Kronos studies looked at a PI3 kinase inhibitor called Copanlisib in relapsed refractory follicular lymphoma. And in these studies, the thought process behind the agent, which inhibits both PI3 delta but also alpha, is that alpha upregulation may be a potential mechanism for resistance of PI3 kinase in this population. So the other approved agent in this population, idelalisib, inhibits PI3 delta specifically. So that was the rationale behind this particular study. This study evaluated 142 patients with indolent lymphoma, the majority of which had follicular lymphoma. And importantly, it's important to note that the majority of patients responded to this therapy, with 59% of patients seeing at least a partial response, and the vast majority of patients having tumor reduction as a whole. From a toxicity point of view, this study did demonstrate some similar and some dissimilar toxicities with idelalisib and other PI3 delta kinase inhibitors. The long-term update at ASH demonstrated no additional significant toxicities with longer follow-up in this population compared to the original paper published in the JCO in 2017. This is important with this class of agents because many of these adverse events, particularly pneumonitis, colitis, and other immune events, as well as infectious events, may develop over time rather than with initial therapy. And so longer follow-up with these novel agents may be important to fully compare both toxicity and activity. So in terms of patient selection, the side effect profile is slightly different, with hyperglycemia, hypertension, headache, all being part of Copanlisib, which is not typically seen in idelalisib. And based on the toxicity profiles of the drugs, I would suggest that those be taken into consideration when choosing these agents for patients. These drugs have not been compared in a head-to-head format, so it's difficult to say that one is better or more effective than another at this time. But I would recommend usage of this agent in patients who have relapsed refractory follicular lymphoma who have relapsed after at least 2 prior lines of therapy per the FDA approval.